x-rays did not show any issues with the bone.
It was a sudden stabbing pain on the ball of her foot that took Jenna Williams off the track. The 18-year-old college freshman was 5 laps into a 5K race when she suffered from 2 stress fractures in her left foot.
I knew I wouldn't drop out for just anything. It hurt really bad, and I was having probably my best race in 2 years.
A couple of factors. One, she had been doing a little bit more mileage recently. 2, she was wearing a racing flat, which has less support than a normal running type of shoe.
Jenna admits she never thought stress fractures could happen in your feet, yet alone seeing a podiatrist for a sports injury.
Not really. I thought more like old people and bunions, not really stress fractures, but they got it done quickly, x-ray and ultrasound, and they knew right away.
Fractures and ankle sprains are the most common sports injuries for both adults and kids. A common misconception is if you can move your foot, it's not broken.
It is a misconception that patients that have foot pain, they're still walking, don't have a fracture, don't have an injury. Oftentimes they hope it's going to get better, but it definitely is something. If you have foot pain, there's pain for a reason. It needs to be evaluated by a professional.
Being an avid athlete himself, podiatrist Dr. Matthew Ward is sensitive to the lifestyle and training needs of his patients. Dr. Ward is on the sports medicine staff at Florida Southern College. He's right now working on his second book, and just like any father, he's very proud his son made it to the cover of a medical journal that his article on baseball injuries was published in.
Feet are extremely important, especially in some of the running, contact sports, turning, twisting. Our entire body weight not only goes through the foot, but with impact it can be 3 to 4 times our body weight.
Soccer player Alec Cosi-Otomarano found this out the hard way.
Just the pressure of my body weight and the momentum and the way that the angle that my foot cut put so much pressure on that bone that it just snapped.
Alec just had surgery to repair the fracture of his 5th metatarsal bone in his left foot. He has a long 8 to 10 weeks of healing ahead of him.
He had sustained an injury, which is typically an injury that has difficulty healing. It was an injury to a bone that has poor blood supply. Once he heals, he should be fine, but this is certainly a devastating injury for a young, healthy athlete.
Dr. Ward stresses early attention to foot or ankle injuries is the key to preventing further damage. When it comes to prevention, here are some tips. Be sure to stretch. Proper stretching before practice and games can release muscle tension and help prevent injuries such as muscle tears or sprains. Choose footwear specific to your activity.
Running shoe is typically going to be geared for running straight in line, not to be made cutting side to side, back and forth. Tennis players are on the ball of their feet. They're going front and back, side to side, and there's different features of a tennis shoe compared to a running shoe, compared to a soccer cleat or a basketball shoe or a volleyball shoe. After we get the athlete in the proper shoe, we evaluate their biomechanics and determine whether or not they need to be supported even further. And generally our first step is with an over-the-counter type of orthotic, whether it's cushion or support. That is really determined based on a number of factors, including foot type, activities. If there still looks like they need to have more biomechanical support, typically that's when we look at something more like a custom designed orthotic.
Talk to your podiatrist or go to a specialty athletic store when looking for proper shoes. Be sure to have your feet measured every time you purchase new shoes, as feet size and shape can change as we age.
Typically the recommendation is if you're doing a sport more than 2 to 3 times per week, you should be wearing a sports-specific shoe for that activity.
For more information about playing it safe when it comes to your feet, contact the American Podiatric Medical Association at apma.org.